Hey guys, how you doing? Dr. Shook here. I'm just hanging out right now by the pool. Hope you guys are doing well today. I know we've been live several times today, haven't we? Just want to take a few minutes and see if I could help any of you guys, maybe answer a few questions that you might have. Kind of see what's going on with you. So what are you guys up to today? I'm actually going to check out some of these Facebook filters. I don't know if you guys know this. Facebook's trying to become the new Snapchat. If any of you are familiar at all with Snapchat, you can do these filters. So I'm going to just click on these filters while you guys are, Facebook's populating everything. So, okay, that makes me look orange. I look orange in enough of my videos. Hold on, I'm on my phone here, guys. I'm just checking out these different filters. How are you guys doing? Whoa, it's not a good look, is it? Neither is that. So these are different Facebook. Hey, Doreen, how you doing? Thought I'd jump on here again and do another live video with you guys, and just see if I can answer any questions. I'm just hanging out by the pool right now while my kids are swimming. My wife, and thought I would hop on here and see what's going on. See if I can answer any questions. So if you guys have any questions about thyroid dysfunction, autoimmunity, Hashimoto's, diet, supplementation, digestive health, brain health, inflammation, anything that you might have, what kind of questions do you have? If you have anything in particular, I'll try to give you guys some direction today. I'm going to do a Q&A with you while I'm just hanging out by the pool. Kind of just letting my kids and everybody swimming, and I'm doing another one. Talking to my wife. The green color. What diet do I recommend? Hold on, let me minimize this. Hopefully it doesn't cancel it. Okay, here we go. So, hey, Doreen. Yeah, the green color did make me look like the Hulk. It's better than the orange that some of my videos, some of my videos, the videos that I have recorded in the past, at the office, there's this thing called Right Light, and it makes me look absolutely orange. And I just ignored it at first, and then I realized how horrible it was. So I tried to fix it. I'll pass on the green, but yeah, it was kind of interesting, wasn't it? So, hey, Mindy, what diet do you recommend to help with inflammation? Okay, so there's really everything comes with you got to qualify. Like, well, where's the inflammation coming from is really the best question to ask. If you know where the inflammation is coming from, if we assume that it's dietarily based, right? If it's coming from diet, then you want to eat a diet, ideally, that is free of the foods that drive the inflammatory process or that drive autoimmunity. So that primarily revolves around, if you had testing done. But if you don't have testing, then what I recommend is that you try like an autoimmune paleo diet. That tends to be one of the better frameworks. I mean, we have our thyroid program, the Hashimoto's program, which is a great program that will help you through the process of eliminating foods and eating foods that are typically have low inflammatory. People are less likely to react to. Let me say that. It also helps to balance blood sugar and improve digestive tract function. So, but if you're going to say, a diet that's more of a commercially known diet, I would say like AIP, which is autoimmune paleo. Follow that for about 6 weeks. Really maybe even longer than that. I mean, we have people that follow our dietary program for sometimes 6 months. That's not an unreasonable thing to do at all. Especially if your digestive tract's really bad. You need that time for the mucosal lining to heal so that you have better oral tolerance to foods, so that when you eat foods, you don't react to them. So autoimmune paleo, you can go to thyroidprogram.com if you're interested in looking at our program. It's video-based and work-based. We have a private Facebook group just for that. And that's a really good program. It's helped a lot of people, but there's a lot of things out there that you could try. Some people have had success with ketogenic diets, but the ketogenic diets do not remove a lot of the inflammatory foods. So I just want you to know that. They don't. They can be good for improving energy production, mitochondrial health, but guys, really, man, I cannot emphasize enough. So many times people ask me, what's the best supplement? What do I do? Man, one of the best things you can do is to be as specific as possible to minimize your inflammation. If you can get some testing done, that's the first thing I would recommend anyone do. Get really expanded blood work done. You can just get standard labs that are more expansive, like inflammatory markers, Just you get red blood cells to see if you're anemic, white blood cells to see if you have any shifts in the blood cells that would suggest bacterial infections, parasitic infections, viral infections. Look at your blood sugar, including a hemoglobin A1C. Look at your liver enzymes. Look at your systemic enzymes like alkaline phosphatase, LDH. These are all markers of inflammation, different, of tissue breakdown. Look at your vitamin D. Look at your thyroid hormone through 10 different markers, guys. 10 markers. Not 2, not 3, 10 markers. I can't tell you how many times we look at thyroid labs and they're just inadequate. I mean, even your T4 and T3 is not good enough. You need T3 uptake, reverse T3. You at least need total T4 and free T3 minimum. And then you need antibodies checked if they've never been checked. There's several things that you need done there. Vitamin D levels need to be checked. So that's, really. Man, I'm so hesitant to just give you guys generalized recommendations, because my best recommendation for anyone is to at least get some testing to help you figure out what's causing your problems. Because guys, if we just grasp at straws and we're just constantly trying another thing, you're going to spend time and money trying to implement that thing, and you're going to burn out, you're going to burn yourself out, and you're never going to really get true health. If you can get some guidance, that's the best advice I can give you. But Mindy, that's a long explanation, but I'm going to say AIP if you haven't tried that, okay, which is autoimmune paleo. Hey Cassie, hope you're doing well. Hey Doreen, with Crohn's and also colitis, they check my thyroid every time I flare. Why? I'm not sure why they check it every time you flare, to be perfectly honest with you. Ulcerative colitis and Crohn's are definitely autoimmune. And the thing is like, these aren't actually, I can't tell you exactly why they check your thyroid every time you flare. I can tell you this, with any hormonal problem at all, whether it be menopausal, premenopause, postmenopause, during menses, if you're having problems with heavy flows, cramping, any hormonal imbalance, period, you have to look at the thyroid first. Because guys, the thyroid is like the master control. It regulates metabolism of all glands. It will, if the thyroid's off, none of the other hormones will be normal. Okay, that's really, really important. If any of those are off, none of the other hormones will be normal if your thyroid hormone is off. So it's really important. Hey Sarah, if you had your left lobe, Sarah says, hey, I had the left lobe of my thyroid taken out. Is it normal to gain lots of weight afterwards? You shouldn't. You shouldn't. Here's the deal. If you had your thyroid taken out, I would want to really, really thoroughly investigate all your thyroid markers, like as many thyroid markers as possible. If you've seen, most of you guys have seen my whiteboard video where I draw brain to cell thyroid hormone physiology. If you've had your lobe taken out, right, one of your lobes taken out, then the gland should still have some capacity to produce the hormone. But listen, if you have high inflammatory loads, like high C-reactive protein, high homocysteine, if you're autoimmune and the autoimmunity has not been dampened, then you're going to have decreased sensitivity at the level of the cell. So every cell in your body requires thyroid hormone. Every cell in your body will be less sensitive to your thyroid hormone if you have high inflammatory loads. So if the thyroid, part of the lobe is removed, check the inflammatory loads first. Second thing I would do is I would look at your thyroid markers, a lot of the total markers, like what's your total T4 like? What's your free T3 like? I'm talking minimum. What is your reverse T3 like? Do you have high cortisol levels? If you have high cortisol levels, you're going to have problems converting T4 to T3 in a lot of cases. What's your conversion rate like? Do you have estrogen issues? Do you have high estrogen or high testosterone? If you do, you're going to have transport problems with the thyroid hormone. There's just so many pieces to it. But if you had it taken out, I would make sure first is the quantity right? T4 and T3. And I would look at inflammatory load. The most common thing that I see problems with people, guys, problems that people have that cause them to feel bad, even though labs are normal, is inflammation. And then anytime you see inflammation, you have to ask, why in the world is there high inflammatory load? And what's driving that? And I'm telling you, if you don't identify why you have a high inflammatory load and you skip that, you are wasting a tremendous amount of time, because until that's identified, you're going to have a very difficult time improving your thyroid hormone physiology, especially in maximally improving it. Yeah, you might try some things and like dietary things and try some supplements and improve it some, and that's valuable. Don't get me wrong. But if you really want to, guys, if you really want to get better, you've got to identify what's driving the process as much as possible. Hey, Cassie. Cassie, I would say I recommend that you start with, if you're saying, hey, where do I start? Well, okay, if you're just diagnosed with Hashimoto's, things you can do on your own would be considering a diet, right? So like autoimmune paleo would be first, or you can check out our program, which is go to thyroidprogram.com, and you can learn about our program, which is video and workbook based. It's a program I've used, a dietary program and lifestyle based program that we've implemented and refined over about 6 years, and we've put it into a web-based format. We have a private Facebook group and we try to support it. So it's a good place to start, but I would try autoimmune paleo if you've tried nothing else, okay? I would also consider, getting a really thorough workup done where people help you look at try to investigate what's driving the autoimmune process. 3 categories of things drive autoimmunity. It's primarily what we believe, that's the leading theory. Number 1 are going to be partially digested food proteins, okay? So foods, are you reacting to foods? The only labs to have done are Cyrex laboratories. In my humble opinion, there's no other lab worth doing. I'm just going to tell you right now, I can't trust any of the other ones the way I can Cyrex, okay? Food sensitivities. Number 2, pathogens, bacteria, viruses, fungal infections, parasites, okay? All those things can promote the autoimmune process. They need to be investigated, because if you can identify what's driving the process, remove it from your body, the goal is to calm down the immune system and dampen the autoimmunity naturally. The third thing is going to be environmental chemicals. Environmental chemicals, we know that there's tens of thousands of environmental chemicals. Many of them have not been checked for human safety. I would go to the Environmental Working Group, EWG.org, and check out what they have as far as their, look at all your cosmetics, everything in your household, get that stuff out, and make sure that you're living as cleanly as possible. Do not use dry cleaners. Do not use dry cleaners. Do not clean with harsh chemicals. Look at your makeup, check everything, your lotion, everything. Okay, Cassie, I hope that helps you out. Really, really hope that helps you out. Andrea, what's up? What is your take on LDN and WP thyroid for having Hashimoto's and Graves' disease? Both. How can we have both? You can have both. You can have, listen guys, you have a 50% chance of having more than one autoimmune condition. So everyone that's autoimmune, if you don't know it, you have a 50% chance of having another autoimmune condition. So if you've been checked for Hashimoto's and you have antibodies against TPO, the thyroid peroxidase in the cells, and you have antibodies against thyroglobulin, a protein in the cells of your thyroid, those are checked for Hashimoto's. Guys, you have 2 autoimmune conditions, okay? Even though it's classified as Hashimoto's, these are 2 different tissues. It's critical. If you have, if you're autoimmune, yes, you can have multiple autoimmune conditions. They come in groups so frequently. So a lot of times I'll get Cyrex Labs array number 5 done, which is a multiple tissue autoimmune panel. I'll get that panel done so that we can investigate where else the problems lie. If we don't dampen the autoimmunity, do we have autoimmunity against the adrenal glands, the heart, the pancreas, the liver, the bone, the brain? What else is going on? So, Andrea, my take on LDN is that LDN, I've seen lots of people that have reported doing very well on low-dose naltrexone, guys, for you guys that don't know it. It seems to stimulate an opiate response in the body that helps with, this is going to get a little technical, T cell regulatory function. So it helps to regulate the immune system. My personal take is I don't want to use anything external if we can help it. I'm not saying that that's wrong, but we don't want to use anything external unless we have to. So I would prefer to investigate, if we have it as an option, to dig and look at all the drivers of the autoimmunity, remove them from the person's environment, work on balancing their immune system and supporting healing of their barrier systems, support and heal leaky gut, support and heal leaky brain, support and heal leaky lung, okay? Do those things. But LDN, I've seen people have reported great things with it. Just don't lose sight of the focus on the why. Why are you having the problem in the first place? LDN does not address the why, but it might help you in the short term temporarily as you're working through that process. As far as thyroid hormone replacements go, I've heard that WP thyroid is the best, better than Armor and even Nature-Throid. So Andrea, I hope that helps you out. You can have both for sure. My recommendation is dig as deep as you can, look at all the drivers of the processes. Start with good, thorough, basic blood work, then work into food sensitivities, look at pathogens that like pathogenic infections, and then look at environmental chemicals. Work on removing those things and supporting the healing of your barrier systems of your body, and support the immune system. Angela, how are you? Schmitz, Hassies, and Addisons with the same AIP diet work as well for that. Angela, listen, for sure, if you're autoimmune, the number one thing that here's the good thing about autoimmunity, if there's anything good. The process, the things that drive the autoimmune process drive all the autoimmune conditions that you've been labeled with. So there's an autoimmune process, and the only difference in my autoimmunity, my psoriasis, my autoimmune thyroid issue, and your Addison's, Schmidt's, Hashimoto's is that your immune system's attacking different tissues in your body than my immune system's attacking my body. But the underlying process is the same. Food sensitivities, pathogens, environmental chemicals, and looking at, I mean, you do have to consider things like hormones and cortisol levels, because those break down your barrier systems. If you have really high cortisol or stress hormone, it impairs your gut wall from healing, so you can't heal leaky gut. It creates a lot of problems with hormones, which are required also for normal metabolism and repair of the body. So yes, investigate the driver of the process. Autoimmune paleo is oftentimes a really, really good place to start. Hey Donna, is benign nodule actually a goiter? Technically, if it gets larger, it can be considered a goiter. So it just depends on what's happening. Is it multinodular? What's really going on with it? It's kind of hard to classify them sometimes. Hi, is it Dahlia? I'm sorry, not very great with pronunciation of names. Have no thyroid, have fibromyalgia and lupus, fatigue, and the pain is awful. Is this all tied together, or is it one or the other? Okay, so Dahlia, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Please forgive me if I'm not. So you have no thyroid. Okay, so the thyroid was apparently removed. You were probably autoimmune if you have fibromyalgia and lupus. Lupus is autoimmune. The immune system's attacking connective tissue, and it can attack multiple tissues throughout the body. Absolutely 100%. Listen guys, anytime I have someone that has lupus, anytime I have someone that has multiple sclerosis, or any type of autoimmune condition, 100% of the time, I strongly look, guys, I work with people all the time, and very frequently, I always try to meet you guys where you are. So I don't push getting a ton of testing if it's not within your budget, because you can spend thousands of dollars. But guys, consider this. We only have so much time. We only have, I mean, some of these problems like lupus and these things are so progressive and debilitating. If you can do it, if it's possible, get testing done to help you figure out what's going on and be specific as possible. Dahlia, all I can tell you is with lupus and MS and a lot of really more severe, more debilitating, more urgent autoimmune conditions, I always recommend digging to investigate the drivers very, very first and get as much information as you possibly can. So look at food sensitivities, look at pathogens, which are bacteria, viruses, fungal infections, parasites. Look at environmental chemicals. Look at all these things as much as you can, and try to do that first, so that you can really, because it's already when you develop lupus and you have all this pain and the thyroid's already removed, you have to look as comprehensively at the person as possible. Yes, if there's absolutely no budget to do any kind of testing, I recommend, trying an autoimmune paleo type of diet or something like that first. Listen, guys, you never can go wrong by upgrading your diet. Okay, I'm just going to tell you right now, you cannot go wrong upgrading your diet. Hey, Anna, yes, 10 markers, typically TSH, total T4, free T4, total T3, free T3, reverse T3, T3 uptake, free thyroid index, TPO antibodies, thyroglobulin antibodies, 10. Hope that helps you out. Renee, so I have Hashimoto's, hypothyroidism, and fibromyalgia. My inflammation is up, and my thyroid TSH is 24.9. My rheumatologist doesn't know what to do. Okay, so you are going to, your TSH goes up primarily if the thyroid hormone, the total is low, usually in response to low total T4. You really need some testing to help you figure out what's going on, but I'm going to tell you, Renee, number one thing that you need to do is address the driving factors of your autoimmunity. Guys, you're going to hear me sound like a broken record, and I'm sorry if I do, but I can't give you a better recommendation than digging to figure out and investigate what the driving factor is, because the driving factors are for you. Guys, your autoimmunity is as unique to you as your thumbprint. I mean, it is something that no one else has anything like it. Every time we do food sensitivity testing on people that have autoimmunity, every single time we find that they react to foods that are on every diet you can imagine, on autoimmune paleo diets, ketogenic diets, elimination diets, GAPS diets, every single one of the diets, SCD diets, people are reacting to it. So I hope this helps you out, Renee. I'm sorry. If there's anything I can do, guys, I'll do what I can to help you out. Hey, Mindy. Usually my blood work is normal except for vitamin D is low, inflammatory markers are high. Mindy, if you have high C-reactive protein, high SED rate, any of those markers are high, you have to figure out what's driving that high. If you don't figure out what's driving that high, now it could be that autoimmunity can drive inflammatory markers high. I've had numerous people that have rheumatoid arthritis or connective tissue autoimmunity, and their inflammatory markers are through the roof. So your blood work is normal. Every time I see normal with blood work, I kind of cringe because I look at blood work a lot differently, and I cast a very wide net. So guys, I look at literally, we can get. I'm gonna throw out some ideas for you guys so you can kind of put some. I'm gonna give you some ideas on what I do, so you can have some perspective. So whenever I get blood work done, we cast a very broad net because I want to see as much as I can that's going on, so I can get the best bearing and direction on how I can possibly give you information to help yourself, okay? And then if we want to go further with testing, it gives me better direction to give you guidance. So I cast a very, very broad net, wide net. So let me tell you, like the testing that we get, so in the United States, I use a lab called LabCorp. Now, I go through a third party, a co-op. It's not through insurance because when we were in with insurance and we billed it through insurance, they charged $2,500 for the labs that I would get, just the initial labs. We can get this huge panel that covers all those thyroid markers and everything for $299. Guys, sorry, it's so windy right now. That's an incredibly good, it's relative, money's relative to everyone, so please don't let me, I don't want to come across like it's not expensive, but it really is a great way that we can help people to investigate what's going on as a first step. Mindy, when someone tells me that their labs are normal, I have a pretty good idea that they're only looking at lab high and low. And keep this in mind, your body does not just all of a sudden go across, a threshold of a high lab number or a low lab number and you're sick or not. There's a spectrum of disease, right? So if right in the middle of your labs is ideal and you start drifting high or low, when do you get sick? So I look at functional ranges, I look at lab ranges. You've got to figure out though, Mindy, where's the inflammation coming from? If the vitamin D is low, you've got to get that up. And I recommend sublingual vitamin D. I think I typically suggest Apex Energetics Ultra D complex. You drop it under the tongue and you take it emulsified so it absorbs through the mucous membrane. It doesn't have to go through the stomach. Sublingual, drop it under the tongue, you let it sit there for about 30 seconds. It goes right through into the bloodstream and the lymphatics and bypasses your GI tract. So if you have a bad gut, which most people that are autoimmune have bad guts, you've got to absolutely take emulsified vitamin D or you're not going to get your levels up in most cases. Those prescriptive 50,000, I've had numerous people that I've worked with that have taken 150,000 international units of vitamin D in the capsules, and the vitamin D is still low. And I'm like, yeah, it's because your gut is so bad you can't absorb it, right? You don't have enough acidity to break it down. You have probably damaged microvilli, the little finger-like projections in the GI tract, and you can't absorb it. So, Mindy, I hope that helps out some. Hey, Pam. Pam, bradycardia and heart problems are never, ever good. So she says, how dangerous is bradycardia, which is a slow heart rate with untreated hypothyroidism? Pam, I would absolutely, it's never, ever, ever good. You have to have good heart rate. You have to have a good blood perfusion. One of the common complaints that I hear is that people say, hey, I'm losing hair. Well, guess what? If you don't have good blood perfusion to your scalp, to your periphery, to your extremities, man, you're really at risk of not getting oxygen and nutrients there, for one thing, just for hair. But when you talk about just general health and function, man, that's a dangerous thing. So absolutely, if you have bradycardia, man, you've got to get checked. You've got to make sure, if any of you are deficient in thyroid hormone, please hear me out here. Take your thyroid hormone medications. Please do not medicate for any reason. Listen, thyroid hormone is essential to life. If you don't get thyroid hormone, every single cell from your brain to your toenails, every single cell will degenerate because every cell in the body is dependent upon that. Pam, I hope that helps out. Hey, Renee, I also have an endocrinologist doc. They just upped my armor because of it being low. I hurt from my head to my toe. What should I do? How do you feel about a wellness doctor? My weight gain has been... Sorry, Renee, I'm trying to read. Horrific. Okay, Renee, listen, guys, a huge topic. Let me tell you what I hear the most. Weight gain, I can't lose weight, most common. Now, guys, I know there's some people that can't gain weight. I realize that's an issue too, and that's relevant. But listen, most common complaints are I can't lose weight. I have no energy. I'm fatigued out of my mind. I got brain fog. Those are the main complaints, especially weight loss. So, Renee, here's the deal. you're taking medication, you're on a desiccated thyroid hormone, which is Armour. A lot of people do great on it because it has a little T4 and T3 in it. I've seen people do really well on those. A wellness doctor, man, that's so generic. All I can tell you, Renee, my best advice to you is, listen, try to get some help where someone can help you to dig and figure out what's driving the problems that you're having. Don't just guess and grasp at all these different doctors. You need a workup that helps you prioritize your physiology. So number one, do you have high inflammatory levels? Number two, are you anemic or trending towards anemia of any kind? That's not just iron, it can be B vitamin anemia. And guys, pernicious anemia is a huge problem with thyroid autoimmunity. Huge problem. So please, 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 do you have high inflammatory levels? Are you anemic? Do you have, infections or chronic issues? You look at white blood cells typically, and you look at the different types: neutrophils, basophils, lymphocytes, eosinophils. Look at all these different monocytes and see if there's a shift. Okay, 3 things. The next thing that you want to look at is you want to look at blood sugar dysregulation. Renee, I know this is kind of a lot, and I'm going fast, but there's a ton of people on here, and I'm trying to answer questions. So you want to figure out, like, what is really what are the most foundational chemistry? What's happening with your foundational chemistry? If you don't know that, then you're sailing a ship with no direction. I mean, guys, so many people. I think the biggest problem that I find today is that people don't have any direction with their healthcare, and a lot of people are trying to help you, but there's a lot of folks. And listen, I think they mean well. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people are trying to help you, but a lot of people are also just selling a bunch of stuff, supplements and things. And do you know what? A lot of those supplements help people, and a lot of people can take supplements, just random supplements, say, look, here's my thyroid supplement, take it. They take it and they feel better. But there's so many people that does not work for. And I just try to give people, as much as I can, a logical approach as I see it to help them work up and figure out what's going on. Because, guys, that's the most important thing that I can do for you, is to actually give you prioritization. All this information overload, how do we organize it and prioritize it so that you're not chasing your tail, wasting time and money? I hope that helps you out, Renee. I really, really hope that helps you out. So Shannon, pituitary patient with Epstein-Barr virus and Sjogren's. I've lost so much hair, all labs normal, but I've lost so much hair. 25 pounds gained after keto diet strict for 7 weeks, only down 5 pounds. Shannon, there's more to this picture than your diet and then calories. There's an inflammatory component. Hey, buddy, what's up? What's up, bud? Yeah. There's so much more to this, Shannon. So I want you to know there's so much more. You really need a more comprehensive approach. Anytime we see viral issues, I'm focusing on things that inhibit. So anytime you see viruses are chronic. They chronically activate the immune system. Sometimes people don't have the immune capacity to dampen viral activation. So what we do is we use an approach that is antiviral in nature that's typically herbal. So we'll use things like lysine, monolaurin or monolauric acid. We'll use glutathione, acetylated glutathione. We'll use vitamin D. We may use some other things to help, some other herbs and things to help decrease viral replication. But you want to attack it from multiple perspectives, the viruses, and you want to try to get the body healthy enough so that it can dampen it itself. But Shannon, man, with Sjogren's, man, it's autoimmune. What's driving the autoimmune process? Hey, Mindy, I feel better off of Cytomel and on no sugar, starch, wheat, dairy diet. Is this normal, or have I just convinced myself of this? Mindy, so I've seen people that have actually felt worse taking thyroid hormone medications. They tell me that they feel worse, and when they've worked with their doctor and they've tapered a bit, they feel better. And so, listen, guys, a lot of people, now you need to check with your doctor, but a lot of people are being overdosed on their medications. And the reason for that is simple. Your doctors only have limited tools. They don't know a lot of the stuff that we're talking about. They just haven't been exposed to it. And even if they were exposed to it, they don't have time to teach you. Your doctors care about you, so please don't be adversarial with them. I promise you they care about you. They're just very frustrated too, because they're trying to help you and they're overwhelmed, and most of them are employees, so they don't have the freedom that I have to research and figure out things, and practice as I want. They're kind of trapped, guys, to be quite frank. And they'll do the best that they can for you. But Mindy says, hey, she feels better off of Cytomel. What I find is a lot of times people are taking too many thyroid hormones, and so when we check their labs, their reverse T3 is like through the roof. In case you guys don't know, reverse T3 is like a brake. Your free T3 is like your gas pedal, okay? So if you have high reverse T3, it's going to cause you to not have sensitivity to your free T3. Now, that's a problem. If you're taking too much, usually you see this happen more frequently with people that are on like a T4 medication. The T4 has to be converted to T3 primarily in the liver and the GI tract. And when that conversion occurs, they can disconvert to reverse T3 at a higher rate. Now, Mindy, if you're taking your Cytomel, it's just straight T3, and it'll surge your T3. And if it goes too high, you can actually flood your body with the T3, causing it to have downregulation or decreased thyroid or decreased sensitivity to your thyroid hormone. It's called thyroid hormone resistance. It creates an amount of resistance, so your body becomes less sensitive to it. If any of you guys are familiar with insulin resistance, it's a similar concept. Your insulin's too high, your body's not sensitive to your insulin, so you can't lower blood sugar. If your body's flooded with thyroid hormone, there does become a point where the cells of your body just become less sensitive to it, and you can feel worse. And so when people taper off, sometimes under their physician's guidance and care, of course, they feel better and they have improvements in their symptoms. So Mindy, I hope that helps you out. The sugar, corn, starch, wheat, dairy diet, yeah, a lot of people feel better off of those things. Those are really commonly inflammatory foods. Guys, tell me something. Who wants to know the most common four food proteins? Can I get some, just tell me in the comments. Who wants to know it? Just say yes, I want to know. Because I'll tell you the four. Four most common food dietary proteins, okay? In the American diet, especially. Okay, number one is going to be no mystery, right? Wheat, okay? Wheat. Gluten. Number two is going to be what, guys? Dairy. Okay, dairy products. All dairy products, doesn't matter if it's goat. I even have people cut out ghee, which is clarified. Just I don't want to take any chances, okay? Number three is soy, guys. Soybeans I don't like for a lot of different reasons. Now, if it's natto, right, which is fermented soybeans, I'm a little bit more lenient to that. But I have people remove all soy. Soy is bad for a lot of reasons. It has phytoestrogens, so estrogens that mimic estrogens in the body. You consume a lot of soy, it's going to cause it could cause some problems with the mimicking of estrogens. It's also one of the most commonly genetically modified foods. Guys, we don't know what genetically modified foods do. It is a Pandora's box that I don't want to open. I don't want to even touch GMOs. I avoid them like a plague. I'm not a big fan of someone modifying with the genetics of my food. Okay, so the fourth one is eggs. Eggs, guys. So it's gluten, dairy, soy, and eggs are the most commonly inflammatory foods. A lot of people, if they remove those from their diet, they'll feel better. Just gonna tell you. Trying to make sure I'm on the right path here. Let's see. A lot of comments, guys. I appreciate you guys on here today. If you will, guys, share this if you've enjoyed this, because this is what we have to have. We have to have this kind of dialogue. You guys asking questions, me answering. We got to do this if we're going to help people feel better. Okay. So I'm gonna do my best. You guys help me spread the word. Okay. Please do share this stuff. Okay. So for some reason I'm not able to look at some of the comments. It's scrolling me down. So I'm sorry if I skipped some of you guys. I really apologize. Post your comment again below, and I'll try to get to it. Whoa. Hey, Christy. Hope you're doing well. Dude, your comment just disappeared on me. They're moving faster than I can answer. Okay, Christy, so does mine. I have Hashimoto's. Was on Synthroid for 20 years. Been dealing with extreme fatigue for the last 2 years. Tried Armor and now Nature-Throid. Man, I'm going to touch this, guys, and see if it doesn't let me. Okay. I've had to go totally paleo. Virginia Moore. That's how far I'm down, guys. Try to go totally paleo and AIP along with key to 15-year battle. It, along with getting deep sleep, has been the key to 15-year battle. Yay, Virginia. Virginia went paleo and AIP. Along with going with getting deep sleep, it's helped her the key to her 15-year battle with her problems. Awesome, Virginia. Love to hear success stories, man. That's what we got to have. Listen, guys, we've got to help each other, because this is an epidemic. There's so many people that are not doing well and are never going to be healthy if we don't share this message with people. There's so many people. How many people have never heard of an AIP diet or autoimmune paleo? Guys, this is simple. That's got to be tried first. People got to try that stuff first. A lot of people don't have the means to access healthcare. I get it. A lot of people don't have the means to pay out of pocket. I'm trying my best to help you guys out. I'm doing my best, and I'll keep trying to teach you guys the best that I can. I mean, we make our program, my program right now is available for $50. Guys, you can't buy a book and research AIP for less than $50. We got a program with a support group and everything If you go to thyroidprogram.com, you can learn about it. Hey, Connie, my hormones are non-existent. That's what my doc says. Connie, if your hormones are non-existent, the first thing I would look at is, number one, do you have normal blood sugar? If you have blood sugar dysregulation, ladies, especially ladies, it's going to completely mess up your hormones. You're going to produce more cortisol to raise to it's your stress hormone. Your cortisol levels will go up to raise blood sugar, and that will deplete you of pregnenolone, a hormone that you need to make estrogen and testosterone. Okay. Hey, Carrie. So you had a thyroid storm, atrial fib due to Graves, being untreated for so long, you lost 130 pounds. Oh my gosh. So Carrie Beddard says that she had Graves, she had a thyroid storm. Guys, I work with people that have Graves' disease, but they all have to be under the care of an endocrinologist. Listen, if you have Graves, guys, the number one thing you've got to do is absolutely be under the care of someone that can admit you to the hospital should you have a thyroid storm. Number two, you've got to dig to figure out what's driving your autoimmunity. Food proteins, pathogens, which are infections, guys, environmental chemicals. Look at your foundational body chemistry. Do you have high inflammatory levels? If so, where's it coming from? Are you anemic? If you do, you got to figure that out, because if you're anemic, it means you can't carry oxygen. That can't be. Number three, do you have blood sugar dysregulation? Is your liver functioning right? Comprehensive approach, guys, is what works magic. I'm going to tell you, it's like magic. When you look at the overall picture, that's a really, really important thing. And I say like magic, it's so powerful. Hey, Lynn, how common is reoccurrence for thyroid cancer? I see so many people on the site with this. Lynn, I don't really know the stats on that. I do know that thyroid cancer can recur. Not to minimize any cancers at all, but it tends to be, most thyroid cancers tend to be the most treatable types. It's what's really important that you're getting your thyroid palpated and checked. If you've had cancer, if you have nodules, I like for everyone to get a thyroid ultrasound as a baseline, and then get one every year to follow up and just see if anything's changing. Absolutely, number one. If you have nodules, especially if they're suspicious, you get a fine needle aspiration. That's my recommendation, guys. Hey, Carrie, sorry I just missed it. Why can't I scroll up? Okay, hey, Tabitha, my TSH has gotten as high as 89. Wow. Yeah, TSH, listen, guys, you guys know the way it works is TSH is made by the pituitary gland right behind the brain. When it goes up, that's the signal that your brain is trying to tell your thyroid to make more hormone, okay? Now, you can have TSH, you can have a pituitary tumor that causes you to pump out more TSH, but that's typically a very, very, very high level. Hey, Debbie, Tina, Graves' disease here. Hey, Tina, welcome. Tina Wilson, Graves' disease. Yep, hang in there, guys. If you've got autoimmunity, the keys are get good blood work to investigate what's driving the process, step one. So inflammatory levels, look and see if you're anemic. Get white blood cells with a differential to see if you have shifts in the white blood cells that could suggest bacteria, viruses, any type of parasitic infection or fungal. Look then at your blood sugar. Blood sugar, guys, blood sugar fluctuations promote autoimmunity because spikes in insulin, which lowers blood sugar, are inflammatory and can cause stress to the immune system and promote autoimmunity. Blood sugar is important. It's a very, very foundational. That's number one. Okay, step one. Step two is, and get very, very thorough thyroid hormone markers. We get 10 on everyone to make sure you know what's going on. The next thing is look at food protein reactivity, see if you have food sensitivities. Remove those from the diet to calm down the immune system. Step two, look for pathogens, which are bacteria, viruses, things I just mentioned. Step three, look at environmental chemicals. Guys, that's a hugely foundational, fantastic approach. You know, I often do, when I'm looking at pathogens, I oftentimes get a stool panel done. That's one of the first things. Hey, Rebecca, hang in there. Don't be discouraged. Listen, don't give up. Don't give up. There's so many people struggling. Rebecca, ask questions. You can do this. You can do this. Okay, hang in there. Rebecca said she's discouraged, guys. Give her some love. Tabitha, I have Hashimoto's as well. Welcome, Tabitha. Hi, Ellie Osborne. You took phentermine and felt alive, but the doctor doesn't want to give it because there's something that will help with the tired and fog besides phentermine. So, phentermine, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of phentermine, guys. Yeah, thanks for giving the love up for her. Phentermine, you know, people go on these weight loss diets and they're taking phentermine, they're taking HCG injections and all these things that really alter your physiology. I will tell you this, guys, as far as like speedy kind of things, sometimes when people have adrenals, their adrenal glands are just completely depleted and they're really run down. If and only if you're supporting you're supporting their foundational physiology, you're addressing the inflammation, you're doing the research, you've done the due diligence, you've worked them up, you're helping them be specific as possible, and you're filling in any nutrient potholes, you're making sure that they're not deficient vitamins and minerals. Maybe you can use some things that, caffeine a bit to support adrenal function, but very in moderation. Sometimes you take away caffeine and people have been using it so long they feel dead, or you take away something that's speedy and it just completely wipes them out. That's not necessarily always the best thing to do. You really try to tailor everything to the individual person. It can take longer, but you know what? It is what it is, right? We're all unique. Like I said, autoimmunity is like your thumbprint, guys. It's unique to you. Hey Nicole, had my thyroid removed and my doctor was yet to recheck the levels since that was over a month ago. I'm so tired all the time, no energy whatsoever. Nicole, for sure, talk to your doctor and say, look, man, I am feeling, call them up and talk to a nurse and say, hey, I'm feeling extremely exhausted. Like something's not right. I'm wondering if my thyroid hormone levels aren't right. Can we please get those checked so we can make sure that I have enough thyroid hormone? And I'd like to get my total T4 and free T3 checked. Okay, free T3. Okay. Calcium and magnesium, hypocalcemia. So there's hypocalcemia after surgery, tons of vitamins, calcium, calcitonin puts calcium in the bone. You really need to talk to an endocrinologist because you probably have something going on with your parathyroids. Maybe they removed some of those. Brittany, I feel worse when I take my medicine. Brittany, there's a mechanism, some kind of mechanism other than thyroid hormone dosages are at play here, okay? Rebecca, I want to know. Yes, guys, I think I answered that. That was questions about the most common inflammatory foods in the American diet: gluten, dairy, soy, eggs. Okay, you try to, if you're not going to do an AIP diet, you could start with just removing those things and see how you do. You want to sweat? So I want to switch from Levo to Nature-Throid, but my pharmacist said it's dangerous. I could have a fatal heart arrhythmia. Oh, well, I mean, that's really a decision that your primary care doctor or your endocrinologist is going to have to make for you. Tons of people do well on those medications, but actually do better on those medications. But that's not a decision that I could make. But I'll just tell you that, typically the desiccated thyroid hormones, like we talk about that they're just mixed T4 and T3, but they have T1 and T2 in them, other thyroid hormones that are going to be more natural to the body. So, I've seen the people that have done really well seem to be that I've come in contact with. Now some don't, but people that have done better typically do better with a mix. You just really, guys, you need to know what is driving your particular process. Tabitha, what's the name? I'll look them up for sure. I don't know what that's in regards to, or I will tell you what the name is. Virginia, would you speak on adrenal problems sometime? Also insulin resistance, please. Virginia, listen, if you go to the office of Dr. Brad Shook, my on Facebook, okay, just type in, search the office of Dr. Brad Shook, go to the videos tab. I have tons of videos on adrenal gland problems, tons of videos on adrenal problems and blood sugar and insulin resistance. So much. So yeah, you can get tons of information there. Catherine, your TSH was 139. It's 0.09. I'm still super tired eating AIP. Catherine, there's another mechanism at play that's contributing to that. You have suppression of your TSH. So typically I like to see TSH between about 1 and about 2.5. Okay, 1 and 2.5 is usually about the range I want to see it. And if it's below that, then you're looking at suppression of TSH due to higher thyroid hormone levels due to a supplement that you're taking. So you do have suppression, and the fact that you're still tired means that there's another mechanism at play. So do you have problems with the estrogens, and you're not transporting it well through the bloodstream? Do you have high inflammatory levels, and you're not able to use your thyroid hormone at the cell? There's just a lot of other mechanisms that could be at play there. Hey, April. Yeah, I know, right? April says, wow, everything I like. So she's talking about the 4 most commonly inflammatory foods in the American diet: gluten, dairy, soy, and eggs, right? That's because, you know why those are the most common foods that people react to? Because they're the most commonly consumed foods. So we react to what we consume the most. So if you were in Asia, I bet you would find that rice would be, instead of our gluten in the US, would be their rice. Okay? All right, rice for them. Okay, hey Randy, how you doing, buddy? Rebecca, I will share. Yes, please, guys, share this information with other people. Help us help other people, because people need to know this. They need to know about autoimmune paleo diets. They need to know that they can. There's all kinds of resources and stuff out there for them. That there are other things that they need to be doing to help their body and help themselves, to help support autoimmunity. Nutrition is huge. What about pasture-raised eggs? I think pasture-raised eggs are going to be. Rebecca Daniel says, hey, what about pasture-raised eggs? How are they? They're definitely better, guys, but listen, it's the protein in there. It's not going to change that. Unfortunately, you got to avoid them sometimes. But here's the good news, guys. I don't want you to think it's all doom and gloom, like, oh my God, I can't have these things forever. No, guys, all these diets are just tools to help us get, repair the body, repair the leaky gut, repair the barrier systems of the body so that we can have better tolerance, oral tolerance to the foods that we eat. So it's not forever. Key point. I don't want to forget that. Rebecca, gross yuck, Facebook also like. Oh, hey Rebecca, thank you for the not so pleasant comment. we sometimes I have trolls on here and it's okay. Teresa, I eat egg whites. Is that okay? You're still going to get the proteins in there, so you want to remove eggs totally. Hey Michelle, I have hypothyroidism, mixed connective tissue disease. I had a right-sided thyroidectomy. I'm going 2 weeks to see my endocrinologist. In 2 weeks, I'm on 50 micrograms of levothyroxine for 4 years because my levels are normal. Let's see. 3 years, face became red and so I swollen. Oh man. So, Michelle, that's a more complicated case for sure. You definitely need to talk to your doctor about it. But listen, what's driving your autoimmunity? It's really important. Okay, really, really, really important. What's driving the autoimmunity is going to be a key thing for you to investigate there. Talk to your doctor though and see. You need to be worked up for the red face and it being slightly swollen. I'm not sure exactly what's driving that. You need a little bit more investigation. Okay. Okay, Rebecca, good job. I'm glad paleo is helping. The comment, my feet get so cool if I miss my medicine. What can I do? Well, your medicine's helping to increase your metabolic rate and blood flow. So that's helping you out, keeping your hands and feet warm. So I hope that helps. What's the AIP diet, says Debbie? Autoimmune paleo diet. You can check that out. You can also go to thyroidprogram.com. That's our program that we use for everyone that has Hashimoto's, thyroid dysfunction. You could really use it for a lot of different problems. Hey, Tina. I know so many people don't have a clue. That's right. There's a lot of learning that we all have to do. We have to be dedicated to being our own advocates and try to be better partners with our doctors, Tina. Yeah, there's so many people that just don't know. They just want to hand you a pill. And guys, that's really because your doctors want to hand you a pill because that's all they have as an option. Brittany says, hey, would removing your thyroid help? You can't have cancer in something that's not there. Yeah, but Brittany, that approach would get you nowhere though. You'd remove everything because everything can have cancer just about, like your entire body. So really just try to address and be as healthy as you possibly can. That's the best advice I can give you. You know, guys, the more and more sick people that I see that are suffering and going through these problems, all these problems myself, I realize that the further that we get from how we're intended as humans to interact with our environment, the more artificial and synthetic things that we do, the more and more sick we become. And it's just really important that we try to, live congruently with nature. I mean, philosophically, it comes back to, I think we're just so far removed that we're no longer congruent with how we're supposed to live. Yeah, Graves' disease, Carrie, is no joke. Graves' disease can be a medical emergency. Absolutely need to identify what's driving the autoimmunity. Debbie, I'm going to do an adrenal test. Yes, let me tell you something though, guys. Your adrenal glands are always going to be secondary to something else. So if you have adrenal gland dysfunction, why do you have adrenal gland dysfunction? Adrenal gland dysfunction is going to be due to high inflammatory levels in most cases, or blood sugar fluctuations. So if it comes back to inflammation, you've got to identify what's driving the inflammation first, because your adrenal glands are always going to be off. So if you get the adrenal gland testing is not the place to start, guys. It is definitely something that I do very, very regularly, but you definitely don't want to start there. You've got to look at inflammatory loads. You've got to go through the right process, or you're going to be wasting time and money. So Debbie, I'm sorry, but I hope that helps you out. Hey Randy, good to see you too, buddy. Hey Kathy, recently diagnosed with Hashimoto's. She feels worse taking her pills. Is that normal? There's probably another mechanism, Kathy. You might be converting to, hey buddy, you all right?
Yeah.
Here's my son. Say hey. You might be, Kathy, you might actually be, disconverting into reverse T3 at higher levels. Kathy, you need more of a workup, I'm sorry. Hey Debbie, thanks for the compliment. So Tammy says she had her thyroid removed in January. She gets very, very confused about what diet is right for her compared to someone who has a thyroid but is hyper or hypo, for example. Hey Tammy, one of the best things that we've found is that if you follow a diet that helps to decrease inflammation, balance blood sugar, and improve your gut function, it helps to improve all aspects of thyroid hormone physiology. So we have a program called the thyroidprogram.com. It's called the 6-week Hashimoto's transformation program, but it's beneficial for all kinds of people. So I hope that helps. Hypocalcemia, I'm not sure about that one, guys. Hi in Argentina, how are you guys there? Hope you're doing well. Hi Tammy. Tammy says papillary thyroid cancer here. Tammy, welcome. I hope you are gaining some valuable information from this. Hope this is helping you guys out. Hey Jessica, doc wants to test for heavy metals and possibly treat with colloidal silver infusion. Does that sound right to you? That's not the approach I would start with at all. But that is a reasonable thing to do, I think, with the heavy metals. Colloidal silver infusion, not so much. I've never used that clinically, but I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. Hey, what's up? We gotta go? We're gonna go in? Okay. Jessica, I hope that helps. Hey, Ellie, phentermine made me feel alive. Doctor doesn't want to prescribe it. Yeah, the brain fog and all. Ellie, there's something else driving that process. I'm sorry. It's got to be figured out. Tabitha, April, you're on Armor, felt good at first. So April, Strayers, you're on Armor and you felt good at first. What I would suggest is, when you got off of it, you lost 35 pounds, but now you find yourself feeling bad. That's my daughter. She's ready to go. She just got out of the pool. She's cool. She's cold. Let's see. Same time. Okay, so if you get off of your thyroid meds and you lose weight, you could have been causing a disconversion and had higher reverse T3, which was actually slowing your thyroid metabolism. You might have been flooding your body with too much thyroid hormone and causing decreased sensitivity to it. Those are all possibilities, April, so I'm not sure, but yeah, those are really possibilities. Hey Debbie, in Scotland, docs won't listen here, TSH is 39, and I have consulted with so many people overseas, UK, Scotland, South Africa, Australia, all over the world, and you definitely see, like, we can't even get certain labs ordered in other countries. They won't even order like reverse T3. So, I mean, fortunately, I've done enough that I know a lot of the common ways that we can approach this, so we can typically sort through it without doing some of the testing, but it's better if we can get the information. Hey Molly, had a total thyroidectomy 2 weeks ago yesterday with my TSH. TSH was 10.32 and T4 was 0.9. Does that mean they will probably up my dose of levothyroxine? I'm currently on 100 micrograms. Not sure, but maybe. They'll make a call. If your T4 is normal and your TSH is not over 10, typically they don't recommend more hormone. But you just have to talk to them and see. They'll make that on an individual basis. Oxygen levels are rarely in the normal range when I test at home. Since anemia is related to oxygen, could that mean I'm anemic? Virginia, Pusha, I would say I would get it checked. Oxygen delivery is huge, and anemia is a huge problem that can mimic thyroid dysfunction. I'd absolutely get it checked. Hey Carrie, Carrie, you're taking a lot of antacids, looks like. Anytime I see antacid medications prescribed, I look at acidity, stomach acidity. Is there low stomach acid? Stomach acidity is critical and absolutely important for normal absorption of vitamins, minerals, breaking down of and destroying any types of pathogens that you might consume. If you want, yeah, I'm almost done. If you want normal gut function, you got to have adequate acidity. Guys, I'm getting ready to have to go, but please do me a favor, guys. I appreciate everybody jumping on here. We had over 100 folks today. I really am so appreciative of you guys. Please let us know how we can help you. Please, guys, please share this with other people. We've got to help get the word out about how people can help themselves, or we're gonna have a bigger epidemic on our hands. We've got to help other people. I'm gonna do the best that I can. You guys help us share the word. And help us keep teaching and empowering people to be their own advocates, to actually be better partners with their doctors, not adversaries. It's not going to get us anywhere. You guys know the saying, you get more sugar than you do with spice, and it's so true, guys. You don't need to kiss your doctor's butt, but you need to be there for, you need to treat them like human beings because they're trying to help you. I'm not making excuses for poor bedside manner, guys, but I'm telling you that your doctors want to help you. They do. They're good people. So we're going to try to be better advocates for ourselves. We're going to educate ourselves. We're going to take our health back. We're going to help our doctors help us, right? We're going to do the best we can. So, guys, I love you. Appreciate you so much. Thank you for hanging out with me today at the pool, and hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Talk to you soon.
Hey guys, Dr. Shook, thank you for viewing our videos. I hope they help you out. If you want to, just subscribe to our channel somewhere here. You can watch a video that YouTube's actually selected for you, so hopefully it'll help you out. If you need any other information or resources, just look in the description. We've got links to our website, to our 9 lab test guidebook, and everything else that we do. I really appreciate you, and I hope you guys have a great